Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video because I'm going to be trying some new makeup from Hermès Beauty. So I have tried two products from them before. One of their lipsticks from last fall's collection. This is the shade Prune Noir. I love this. I really like the color, the formula, the packaging, everything about it, despite it being like an $80 lipstick, which is not the most expensive lipstick I own. And then their lip balm, which my husband has and he adores. He's used like half of it. But about 6 weeks ago, some people sneak peeked their fall winter collection and I want all of it. I wanted all of it. I've been waiting for it. And I bought most of it. I didn't buy the nail polishes. They are a bit spendy. They're $60 a piece, which is a lot of money for a nail polish, but I love both colors. So I hopefully will be getting those sometime. My birthday is coming up and my husband did hint that maybe I'll get them for my birthday. So I held off on those, but I did buy the new palette and all three of the lipsticks, but at my Nordstrom where everything launched in Seattle, only two were available. The other one had to be shipped, so that'll be here in a few days. But I didn't want to wait, especially because I only have one set of lips. So I'm gonna try the palette, both of these lips, and then I'll use the other lipstick in another video coming up. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I am a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for sparkly indie makeup and high-end and luxury makeup. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to the content I make based on, my training and my personality in general. And I just try to make thoughtful, analytical content. And I have new videos every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. Hopefully this is gonna be a shorter video. This is a first impression. I've used obviously one of their lipsticks before, but I've never used their eyeshadows or tried their matte lipsticks, which is one of these. So we're gonna do a look, try these out, see what I think, do a couple swatches, and then I will give more feedback once I've used it more. But this is, $114 palette. Normally they're $108, but this was $114. Probably because it's limited edition. So it's a big investment. It's a big purchase. So knowing if it's truly worth it and all of that will come with time and as I build a relationship with it. But I did want to get a first impression up in case you were also interested in this. So like I said, I bought this from Nordstrom. I'll have everything linked down below where you can buy it if you are interested. This is the eyeshadow palette. This is the Mineralis palette. And like I said, this was $114 instead of $108, which is a very expensive quad. I think this is the most expensive quad that I have. I do have some other luxury quads sitting here to compare size-wise and stuff in case you are also new to these. And then these lipsticks are $79 each. I think the most expensive lipstick I own is the one from Isabelle, which was $100. But I did buy that on sale. This is the same packaging my other lipstick came in. It's really beautiful. I'm just really excited to try these. So all of the packaging from Hermès is the same. You get this nice outer box. I do really like that it shows here the format of the palettes. I did swatch the existing ones at Nordstrom already. So I do have kind of an idea of what the textures feel like. But you've got shade number 1, which is the neutral base shadow. Then across from that, the other square pan is the dark color / liner. And then number 3 is the top round one, which is the light accent shade. I think it's generally the sparkly shade. And then shade 4 is the surprise color. It's kind of the same format as the Prada palettes, which I have 2 of. And then you get, your lovely orange box. And then the dust cover, which is a really nice material, and then the palette. It is kind of small and very cute. It does have a 12-month shelf life. I believe it says made in Italy. Yeah, it says made in Italy. Everything else is in French or talks about France because that's, French brand. I do really like the packaging. This simple white looks really beautiful with the gold emblem there and the gold back. It's not hefty. It's not the lightest thing I have, but it's not really heavy when I compare it to other ones, like especially when you compare it to the Byredo palettes, which these are like 75. There's a significant, this is like 2 to 3 times the weight of this. And then you open it up, you got a mirror, I'll take the plastic out. And this is the color story. So if you know me, if you've aren't not new here, this is very much all of my favorite colors in one palette, which is why this is my first Hermès eyeshadow palette. The other ones are a little more monochromatic. They are really beautiful, but you've got a nice warm brown, you've got a green, you've got a blue, and then you've got kind of a sparkly champagne. These do look small. These are refillable. I think this was, you know, normally they're 108, and I think the refills are like $75. So there's a little pinhole on the back. I don't know, because this is limited edition, it probably won't be sold as a refill, but we'll see. But I could refill the case. But blue and green are my favorite colors and favorite eyeshadow colors, so I had to get this. It is very wee. It is cute though. So when I compare it to like my Surratt quad, which is about $100, although they sent this to me in PR, similar size, but the eyeshadows are way bigger in the Surratt. So like, yeah, this is $100, but you're getting a lot of product. This is 6.8 grams and this is 3 grams. So this is more than twice the amount of product for a little bit less. And then thinking about like Tom Ford, these are about $90. I don't know if they've increased the price. And they have 5.2 grams of product. So big difference. You're getting not a lot of product for a lot of money. And then when I compare it to the Prada is 6 grams of product and these were $80. So you're definitely paying for the name of this, but I still really love it. I still really like it. I have the special Prada packaging from getting this at Harrods. So very excited to try this. I think I already know what I'm gonna do look-wise. And then the 2 lips. So I ordered all 3. One of them is they describe it as an earthy neutral, and then it's more of a warm beige. That one is being shipped to me. Not really sure why the Seattle Nordstrom doesn't actually have it in stock at all, but it's being shipped, so I will use that in a video soon and let you know. I can even do like a short or something. These also come in the same orange box. I was just quickly unboxing them, and they also have the same kind of dust cover, just, you know, a cylinder. And one of these is a matte and one of these is a shine. So this is the matte packaging. Really love this. So you've got black, blue, and purple stripes, and then this orange base or peach base. And then this is the shiny lipstick, which has a blue base with kind of more of a teal blue here, and then you've got a more purple leaning blue, black, and brown up there. And I think the color, the case I like the best is on the other one. So this is supposed to be a sheer matte lipstick. This is a wine color. Very excited for that. Right now I just have some lip balm on. And then this is the shiny gold shade. So I will try both of these on. So I think I'm gonna do some swatches real quick and then we'll try out the products. So just to kind of see the textures and see the colors side by side, especially if you are a similar undertone. I have an olive undertone. I'm a little more gold olive right now because it's summer. But if you have a similar skin tone than me, this might be helpful. So this is the neutral base shade, which is this brown. Feels very silky. It's a really nice kind of terracotta brown. And then we've got the sparkly shade, which is a very bright champagne. Very pretty. That's very pretty. And then we've got the green, which I think the green is a satin. This is the surprise color. It has a little bit of sheen to it in the pan. It's a nice khaki green, my favorite kind of green. Even like olivey khaki greens. And I'm doing very light swatches. I don't really care about swatches as far as like telling me about the performance. It's all about just seeing the color. And then the blue, which is the one that says Hermès on it. That's really pretty. I like these a lot, color-wise. So let's see. That's a perfect everyday brown for me. It's very smooth and reflective shimmer. The green is definitely a little more sheer, but we'll see how it works with a brush. But there's definitely a sheen to it. And then the dark blue, that is very smooth. I mean, it trailed off a little bit there, but it is very smooth and silky for a blue. So I'm very excited to use these. This does feel pretty on par with the Prada formula. Like if I swatch the satin and the dark matte from this Prada palette. The satin from the Prada is a little bit more pigmented and a little shinier than the green, but the dark matte feels similar, maybe a little drier than this. None of these feel, they feel really lovely. They feel very silky, very finely milled, very smooth. So I'm gonna go wash off my hands and then we'll get into the trying out the products. So I zoomed you in a little bit. As far as my makeup right now, I have a little bit of my House Labs concealer on under my eyes, a little bit of my Dewdrop foundation, which is in the center of my face and kind of to cover some of the redness I had from shaving today. And then a little bit of 2 of the blushes I got from Suku this summer while I was in London, blended out, and that's about it. And then brow gel on my brows, and I had a little bit of lip balm on. Very minimal. This is kind of my everyday makeup for work, plus or minus some eyeshadow and lip. So I'm gonna start with the eyes. I'm gonna put a little bit of my eyeshadow base down. I always use a primer. This is the one from NARS. I have more oily eyelids, not the oily list, but I do have eyelids that tend to need primer for anything to last all day. I know some people will try shadows without primer and judge them based on how well they last that way, but it doesn't matter. Indie, drugstore, high-end, pretty much nothing will last on my eyes more than an hour or 2 unless I have primer down, so I'm just gonna do that as my base like I always would. I don't set the primer, I just let it dry a little bit. I really like, this is my favorite eyeshadow primer that I've used so far. I'm gonna start with the brown shade as the neutral base. I'm gonna go with a Rephr 1 brush. This is my go-to brush. I have like 6 of them because I can pack things on and buff. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this. And it's very creamy, like there's no kick up in the pan. It's just kind of smoothing it. Maybe like the tiniest bit of kick up. And I'm going to attempt to use this little mirror. And put it out here and buff it into the crease. That's really pretty. Just a nice warm brown. I probably could dupe this really easily, but that's fine. I'm gonna grab a different brush. This is a Sonia GT6. This is a very large version of that same shape. And I'm just gonna use that to kind of lightly dust this all over and buff the edges. So I think I just want to put that as literally the base color. I want it all over. Yeah, that worked really well. And I'm gonna do that on the other eye. Okay, that blended out really nicely. It's very creamy. It's not a cream to powder, but it does feel very creamy and silky. So really like that as a base. And then I'm gonna take a more packing brush. This is another Sonia G. This is the T2 from the Tradition set. And I'm gonna pick up the green and I'm gonna see how that layers over the eyelid. I might also use my finger. I just wanna see how this works with a brush. So it is definitely a satin. There's a little bit of sparkle to it too. It's not like fully satin. And I think if I put it on a tacky base, you'd probably, or put it down as the first shade, you might see it more. But it is showing up nicely green and it is layering over the brown really nicely. This is kind of an everyday green for me. And part of the reason I like this brush is I can pack it on and I can just use the edge to buff it in, and it's deepening up the crease where it's hitting the brown. I really like that. This could be every day for me pretty easily. Yeah, this is like everyday makeup for me. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the brown and dust it under my eye as well. This is just the same brush. Yeah, I really like that. I probably have both of these colors in other formulas, but I needed to try it. So I'm gonna go do this in the other eye. I'll be right back. Okay, so I just repeated that on the other eye. I really like this. I could stop here, but obviously, first impression, I wanna try every shade. So I'm going to grab a small brush to use as liner with the dark blue shade. I might put it on the outer corner a bit and blend it out, but I wanna start as kind of more liner. But I do really like the way this looks. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the green with my finger and just layer it on top and see if, yeah, with a finger, I get a little bit more opacity right away. But I'm not surprised by that. I don't mind using my finger. Yeah, I really like that green. Okay, so I grabbed a small, this is a Refer 29. It's a very tiny little liner brush. I'm gonna pick up the blue with that. And I do wanna kind of put it on the outer corner too, but I wanna just start by using it as a shadow liner. It is very pigmented. Really pretty. One of the promo photos, they had it really blended into the crease as kind of a graphic liner. It was really pretty. I don't feel like doing that today. But you definitely can see it over the other shadows. And I love a blue liner personally. For my olive undertone, it pops against that. Brown eyes pops against that. So I think that's really pretty. I'm gonna buff it into the outer corner, I think. But I'm gonna repeat this on the other eye real quick. So I'm just gonna pick up another Shiny brush. This is a really small pencil brush. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the blue and kind of dust it out here to kind of deepen up the outer part of the crease and just kind of see how it blends into the other shadows. Okay, I like that. It doesn't blend into nothing. You can definitely see it there, but it's not leaving a harsh line. I'm also using a fairly pointed pencil brush. This is the TS4, so the Tradition Select set, which I believe are I think this might be squirrel hair. I don't remember that. I think that's collection had a mix. Okay. Yeah, it's subtle. It's not the most pigmented blue that I've used, but I think it's easier to work with than a lot of blues. And I think a lot of people are scared of blue eyeshadow, so I'm just using the first brush again, kind of buff everything together. And this does come with a little brush in the bag. There's like a little loop for it, and there's this tiny little brush. This would probably be a good one for putting shadow out here or buffing as liner. It's a cute little brush. I just didn't feel like using it right now, but if you need, feels like a nice brush. Yeah, I like that. That's just kind of a hint of blue. I could build it up more. I could use a packing brush or something, but I don't feel like doing that today. But it did blend into the brown and the green really nicely. Okay, I'm gonna do this on the other eye. Okay, so I just kind of stamped it there with the same brush. And this eye, it definitely clung a little bit better. I mean, each eye is a little differently shaped, holds product differently, but you can really see it's got a good amount of pigment. And I'm just kind of drawing the shape that I want, that I have over here, before I diffuse it. But I do think it went a little bit bolder on this side, which, that's fine. I'm gonna put a little bit more out here, just because. Okay, so I'm gonna buff these a little bit. buffs out really easily. You probably put that all over. I feel like in one of the shadows it's a black, so you can, you know, use it as a smoky eye base. I think there's one of these that is like kind of black and gray. It would be a really nice smoky eye palette if you wanted one luxury smoky eye palette. But yeah, that blends really nicely, but it's not disappearing. Okay, now to try the shimmer. I will try it with a brush and a finger as well. So here is my go-to shimmer brush, Refer 21. It's very dense versus the fluffiness of this one. So picking it up with that just to see how it does on a brush. And it just adds a sheen with that. I'll put it on the inner corner. It does build up to a pretty bright shade. But if I'm just tapping it over the green, it's just adding a sheen. But you can see on the inner corner, it does get pretty bright. I don't want to fully cover the green. I like the green, but I do want to see how every shade performs. So if you really want a bright lid, you could definitely get it with this. Okay, I like this so far. I'm gonna go tidy up the edge real quick and put on mascara, and I will be right back. So I'm back. I just threw on my Lisa Eldridge mascara, and I really like this. I will insert some footage near the end when I'm talking, showing it in different lighting, since I'm in front of I have some lights because it's gray already in Seattle, and I'm in front of my windows, but I'll insert some footage in other lights. You can definitely see the gold sheen over the green. The brown made a nice base. I think this eye look looks really pretty. Could I have done this with other palettes? Probably, or singles, but I'm not mad so far. Okay, so the lips. I think I'm gonna try the gold one first, just because it is more sheer, and then the wine color. So this is shade 03 Beige Glacé from the Lip Shine formula. So let's try this. And it is pretty sheer. Yeah, it is just a warm sheer sparkle. It feels kind of like a lip balm, but it feels remarkably similar to their lip balm, not quite as balmy. And I don't know if it'll show on camera, but in person I do see some like gold and champagne sparkle on my lip, which I don't mind. On camera, I think it's just kind of looking glowy. But yeah, that is just a shiny gold. I definitely have other balms and lips that give a similar effect, although this does feel really nice. Like, it does feel very similar to this or their lip balm. It is a really nice formula. I could have just been wearing this the whole video, but it is very sheer, just adds some warmth and shine to the lips, which I'm not mad about. For $79, that's a lot for this, but I still really like it. Okay, I'm gonna wipe that off and put on the matte now. Okay, my lips already feel less dry than they did before, and you can see on the paper towel I used, it's just kind of a gold bronze sheen, very sheer. Now, to try this. This is the shade 73 Rouge Napa, and this is in the Sheer Matte formula, which I have not tried before, but I have heard good things about. It looks a little less burgundy and red in person. No, it looks really pretty in person. It does look like a nice burgundy, but it looks slightly different than I expected, but not in a bad way. Okay, so I definitely have sparkle on my lips from the other one, but that's fine. Okay, it definitely does feel sheer, and it doesn't feel like a matte. Like, obviously I can see that it is a matte. That's really pretty. I'm a little worried that the more earthy tone will be like too pale for my skin tone or too similar to my skin, but I needed to try it anyway. And this is definitely like a tint of wine. Not my best application, but that's fine. And it has a little sparkle on it now from the other one, but that'll go away as I use it. So I'm just gonna use my finger and kind of buff it in. I like applying my lipstick with my finger and kind of blowing it into the lips. I already did that, and then I found out that Pat McGrath did it, and I felt very justified in using that method. This is really pretty. Do I have other lipsticks that are a similar color? Yes. Do I care? No. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Okay, so now that I've talked for longer than I thought I would, first impression thoughts. Palette, very pretty. It feels nice in the hand. Like I said, it doesn't feel weighty. Like, it's even lighter than the Surratt. It's kind of on par, a little bit lighter than the Lisa Eldridge. I would say it's kind of on par weight-wise with the YSL quads. Really pretty. Really like the colors in here. These are my everyday colors. I don't necessarily wear blue every day, but it is my favorite, and a blue smoky eye is was my first makeup and just has a soft spot for me. So I'm very happy that this is my first. I feel like if you're gonna buy a $100 or plus eyeshadow palette or quad, it should be something that you're gonna use a lot. Like, if you never wear smoky eyes, you never wear black, you never wear gray, don't buy a $100 gray smoky quad like the one that Hermès has. Like, that would be a bad investment, a bad idea. You're just gonna regret spending that money. I think if you're gonna buy something like this, go for one that you think you'll use the most. And this is the one that I thought, out of all of them, I mean, it's a limited edition new one, but like, out of everything, this is the first one where I was like, that is the one I'm gonna buy. And so far, no regrets. I will keep using it. I will see how it wears throughout the day. I will probably just be wearing this a lot this week, but I really like it. I think the blue worked really well to deepen the outer corner without going too dark. I could add liner if I wanted. Everything melted together really beautifully, just blended and melted. I have no regrets so far, despite it being $114. And then the lipsticks, I think these are both really lovely formulas. The sheer one definitely feels like a balm, and you can see as I've used it already, it's kind of melted a little bit. And it feels, yeah, it basically feels like a really shiny, hydrating balm, which they already sell a balm, but it's clear. So this is a nice, more gold version of that. I will have more thoughts on that once I've used it more, but I've used the purple one quite a bit, and I really, really love this. It also feels very hydrating. It feels very luxe on the lips. I don't know how to explain that other than it feels like I'm using a luxury product, not just in like holding it, but the way it feels on my lips feels expensive. And this matte color, really pretty. I can see why people really like these. The sheer matte, it doesn't feel matte. Like, I can see there's no shine to it. It is definitely a matte lipstick. It's not a satin. I mean, I have a little bit of sparkle from the other shade still, but it's not coming off. Oh, maybe a little bit of tint on my finger, but it is just a really nice sheer kind of wash of color with no shine, but not drying in any way either. It feels very nourishing. So I understand, and I would like to try more shades. Okay, so that is everything for this video. Let me know what you think of the quad, of the lipsticks. I am very happy with this one. I am gonna be wearing this a lot. I can't wait to try the other one. Is this something that you've looked at? Is this something, I know I was talking to my friend Andromeda and they were like, those are really pretty. I don't think it's gonna be worth the money, so I'm gonna skip it. But like, you know, even they were like, this is really pretty. And they really want the green nail polish. I'm really enjoying this. I will insert a clip here of what this looks like in different lighting in case that is helpful. So you can see a little bit of the detail and a little less bright light. But I love this. I don't regret this. Yes, it was $300 to buy all of this stuff, including the other lipstick that's on its way, but that's just the person I've become, apparently. Obviously, I can't say that if this is worth it. One, I've only tried everything once, so it'll take repeat uses to see if I think this is worth it for me even. And worth it is a very subjective thing. If you are someone that likes high impact, sparkly eyeshadows, this is not going to be worth it. If you are someone that only buys drugstore makeup, this is probably not going to be worth it. I never want my channel to feel like I'm pressuring you into buying something. I just want to show you things that I am enjoying and evaluating and say if I think I like them, if I think that they're worth them for me, and hopefully that helps you decide if that's worth it for you in the long run. But I am very pleased with my purchase so far. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Like I said, are you gonna pick this up? Have you tried any of their products before? What do you think? Do you think it's severely overhyped and overpriced? You know, be nice, but like, I wanna know. I like to talk to y'all in the comments. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.